Hey, good morning, guys. So today we got my truck here. I got to put an alternator in it. The other day I was driving it, started getting a funny smell, burning smell inside the cab. Was wondering what it was, and then the battery light turned on. So I already checked it. It's not putting anything out. I went through the testing of it real quick the night that it happened. So I got another alternator to put in it, so let's get to it. Alright guys, so first thing I'm going to do here is disconnect the batteries. Ooh, see, this battery needs to be cleaned up a little. Alright, that's one. And I put the thing of wrenches on top of the other battery, of course. Let's see. And there's two. That one really needs to be cleaned up also. Alright. There we go. Put the wrenches back. Alright, so got the batteries disconnected here. So, got an alternator to do. This one's not that difficult. Right up top. Tensioner is in a precarious spot. So there's a little trick to these. He's still facing the right way. Straight down in here, there's a tab on the tensioner that's built into it, and it locks it open when you relieve the belt tension. You can lock it open. So the easiest way I found to do these is you just grab the belt here right below the alternator, pull on it, and there you go. And now that just locked, and look, now you got the belt untensioned. So it's not the easiest to see with a camera. It's hard to. I wish I had a belt tensioner to show you. So now that we got the belt untensioned, let's get to getting this thing off. All right. Let's see what size we got. That looks bigger than that. Oh, I was right the first time. Look at that. Usually it doesn't happen. Break these loose. So I'm using wrenches just to show you guys how easy this alternator is. So if you have a truck like this, I mean, this isn't all alternators. This is strictly this truck I'm showing you is this easy. But there's a lot of easy ones out there. I had one time that family friend alternator went bad up at their house, well, up at somebody else's house that we were at. I told them I could do it in the driveway, so they were going to run to the auto parts store and get a new one. They went inside to get ready to go, put their shoes and everything on, and before they could get out the door and get in the car to go get the alternator, I already had the old one out. So these are all the same size bolts, so you don't have to worry about placement or anything like that. Now, the one thing you want to try and be mindful of is this belt. You really don't want to let it flop too far, because they are kind of a pain. Now, on the back of this alternator here, if you can see it, there's one wire right here. This is why you disconnect the batteries, because this is live all the time while the batteries are on. So just a 10 millimeter. That's going to fight me. Now, if you forget to disconnect your batteries and touch any grounds or metal or anything, that will let you know that you forgot to disconnect the battery. So you just take that off. And this could be an original alternator, so this might fight me. Come on. There it goes. Not too bad. So this is a 2006, 130 something thousand miles on it. It has a Motorcraft alternator in it. Now, there's no guarantee this could have been a reman at one point, remanufactured. Ooh, hear that? Yeah, bearing definitely went bad in the back. Yeah, there's a lot of play in that shaft. Yeah, this thing fried itself internally, I'd say. So that was definitely, I don't have to do any more testing. This is definitely the problem. And if it isn't the problem, it was going to be a problem. So, but like I was saying, it says Motorcraft on it. It could have been remanufactured by somebody at one point, so it might not be the original, but this could be the original alternator with this truck. I mean, not that that's any big feat or anything, but all right, let me go get the other alternator and put it back in. All right, guys. Ooh, upside down. So I got myself an alternator here, ready to go back in, Motorcraft. Oh, phone always going off like normal. Anyway, so I got this alternator, I'm going to put it back in, and it's very simple, just a reverse process of what we just did. So let's lower this back in, hook this plug back up. Now that plug, I believe, is the voltage regulator. So that's what regulates how much power the alternator has to put out to keep up how much power is being demanded and how much power to charge the batteries back up after starting and all that. So that's what controls the alternator. And this is the line. You want to check sometimes. Sometimes they have washers there, sometimes they don't. This one does not. This one actually has, oh, this one has the washer built in there. This wire is the wire that actually, the power that the alternator puts out goes out to. So this is actually what goes out. It probably goes down. I'm not exactly sure how this one runs. I'm assuming this one might run down towards the starter and hooks in that way to the system. I don't see which way it's running. It could be this one that runs over to the battery there. Lost my wrench. There we are. So hook these two wires back up. Snug this down. You don't want to really wrench down on this, because this is just a stud that goes into the alternator. You want to make it tight, but don't over tighten that, because you could snap it off. Don't ask me how I know. I'm the king of snapping studs off everything. Gotta put Hercules back together. So that's back on. So your wires are back on. You want to make sure you're not twisting and they're not going in an odd direction. They're right back where they were. They fell back in place. Drop your studs in. Or studs. Come on, Matt. Come on, Ramsey. So drop them in, line them up, get them started, and run them down. You can run them down by hand. Normally I would do this with some type of tool, whether I have my power wrench or something like that, or if I have my little mini impact or something like that. But I just wanted to show you that you can easily do this in a driveway or a garage if you have it, preferably a garage, because we still have probably a good 1.5 feet of snow outside. It's melting, but we're going to see snow for a little while around here. Put this on. Come on. There we go. And there's the 13. obviously you could do it with a socket set, but again, I'm just trying to show you that it can be done with really basic tools. Now, if you're not 6'8", 7,000 pounds like I am, and you can get a good tighten on them. If you're not me, then what you can do, if you can't get these to break loose, you can actually double your wrench up. That wrench is way too big. You can double your wrench up. So say you're trying to get this bolt off here and you're struggling, you can take your wrench and just go like that. Just hook it in there, put it on. This might be out of the frame, but and then you can pull on it. That doubled your leverage up. So now you can pull it right out. Same thing with going back on. I don't really recommend it unless you're really struggling to tighten stuff down, because you can easily break stuff doing this. I don't know about anything about that, I promise. So, let me just give it one more check. All right, we're tight. Now the belt feels like we're still on everything. So let me get the light. This is an important step, because you will have a bad day. I promise you. You will have a bad day if this belt is not on everything and you start the truck. All right. Now let me come around the other side and we'll take that tensioner, or, well, disconnect the temperature. God, come on. Stumble through everything. Disconnect. Why am I saying disconnect? We will undo the little tab holding the tensioner open. So then the tensioner will go right back to where it's supposed to be. Hook the batteries back up, fire it up, and we'll check voltage, see where we are. Alright, so I'm going to try and do this without moving the light, but I might cause a shadow, so sorry my poor videographer skills. Oh, these tabs. Sometimes these tabs don't like to move because they've been in one spot for so long, and then they get grumpy that you moved them. Oh, alright. Hold on a minute. Alright, so I can't find my large, long screwdriver. Didn't mean to say it that way, but oh, come on. And then I go and proceed to get my light stuck. Well, it can live there. So I got a regular, well, I can't live there because I can't see what I'm doing then. No, that's fine. You can stay there. There we go. All right. Back in business. I can't let it drop down there. This is the one problem. You can't see anything where it is, so it's hard to see it. But when you put the light where you can see it, then you can't get your arm in there. You know what? I may just have to go to the large encourager. I don't even know if this is going to work. Let's see if I can get it in place. So I think I have it in place. Let's find out. Nope. Alright, let me go get my other light. So I don't know how this is going to look on camera, but I need a light. goes. Perfect. It's a lot easier when you're not trying to jam something like that in there. But unfortunately, I can't find my long screwdriver. Now it's bothering me that I don't know where it went. But that worked. So, well, that light actually doesn't look bad on camera, does it? Huh. I'll have to remember that for next time. So, next step, we have to hook the batteries up. And actually, I think we'll be ready to start the test. So, let's collect all our wrenches. Look at that, I actually kept track of them. I'm already collected. So I brought over, hold on, let me take it down. Alright, so I brought you down here to show you. I took this battery terminal off, and you can see it's got some corrosion on it. So before I put this back on, I'm just going to give this a quick scraping, brushing, whatever you want to call it, with a wire brush. Get some of that out of there. I don't have my wire brush for cleaning these, so I'll do the next best thing. Scrape as much of it out as I can. It's really not much, but that will just keep getting worse and worse over time. Don't think that was... Ooh. Well, made a connection. Look at that. Nothing's on fire yet. Oh, come on. There we go. Alright. So that's what you got to do. If you have corrosion or anything like that. Some cars you see sometimes they got a big green ball on them. Oh, that's so bad. You got to clean that off. Another thing you want to be careful of is when you're tightening these back down. Well, as you're tightening this, you don't want to touch it against anything steel. Because if you do, again, it'll let you know real quick. It'll arc and flash and probably won't hurt you, but it will scare you. So, let's go to the other side. We'll just do this live. And I'm not moving the light. Sorry about the bad lighting. This side's not as bad. This side's actually not bad at all. But, I got it off. And even with the wire brush, you want to make sure you don't touch anything steel, because those wires can be steel wires. More than likely they're steel wires or some type of steel. But now this one, I'm looking in here, isn't really, it's not bad enough to warrant me sitting there scraping it, because scraping it isn't the neatest way of doing it anyway. So I'll have to go back and pull that other battery terminal off at one point. You want to make sure these are tight. And you can't turn them. Make sure they have a good connection. I always make sure these are back on. This one never seemed to fit right. There we go. It's kind of somewhat on there. Alrighty then. So let me clear this stuff off, and I'll show you how we're going to check this if my amp gauge works. So let me clean up and then we'll get to it. Alright guys, so how I'm going to check this is I have my amp clamp here, and I have it on amps. So what I'll do is I'll get in and start it. I'm going to try and put the camera somewhere where you guys can start it while I watch it. And we'll see how many amps we get, what it goes up to, and then that'll tell us if the alternator is working correctly or not. Let's get to it. Alright, so let me just make sure everything's out of the way. And we look good, so let me fire it up. Let's see what happens. So, we gotta take a gander at this because battery light's on. Boo. So, I can't get the plug to lock back in again, so might be doing an alternator a second time. Not replacing it, but pulling it off. Battery light's out. So we'll call that a win. Alright guys, so instead of using the... Come on, scanner. There we go. I don't know how well you're going to be able to read the screen. Instead of using the voltmeter, I'm going to go into the scanner here and see if I can see the voltage, system voltage. There it is, battery 11.6. Now let's start the truck. Yeah, we're good. Like I said, on first startup you're going to get close to 14 volts because that thing is really putting out some current. Let's see. It does not tell you on here. Yeah, it doesn't tell you how much it's actually putting out. Most of them don't. Well, let's see what the codes are. This truck always has an EGR code because yeah, it doesn't work. We'll just say that. Every now and then it might come up with other codes, but you erase them and they never come back, or it takes, you know, a year to come back. Oh, 2 glow plug codes. Wow. Fuel level sender. It doesn't have a 2-wheel drive transfer case. I really don't use this anyway in 4-wheel drive. Doesn't go anywhere. I'm surprised it doesn't have an EGR fault. Huh. Maybe it fixed itself. So, finishing up here. I think I might keep this alternator in the box as a spare because I think it's still good. Sounds good to me. So anyway, thanks for watching, guys.